Good morning, students. Welcome to your moral science class. We'll be starting up a new section, life and death, today. Let's first begin with the narration that has been given about life and death. The soul has its origin in the spiritual worlds of God. We're talking about soul over here, right? It is exalted above matter and the physical world. Exalted to give a higher position. The soul has a higher position in the physical world rather, above matter. The individual has his beginning when the soul associates itself with the embryo at the time of conception. When the embryo is in process of getting life, soul finds a place in it. That's what it says. But this association is not material. The soul does not enter or leave the body, and does not occupy physical space. Now, this is interesting. Soul is associated with the embryo. It doesn't enter the body, or it doesn't occupy any space in the body. That is very important to understand the concept of soul. The soul does not belong to the material world, and its association with the body is similar to that of a light with a mirror which reflects it. Right? Soul does not belong to the material world. It's just like light that falls on a mirror and gets reflected. Soul is just like that. It's an easy way to explain things. What is soul? Soul is the light that falls and reflects back on others. The light which appears in the mirror is not inside it. It comes from an external source. You understand that? Whenever we point a light at a mirror, the light is not inside the mirror. It's from an external source. Similarly, the soul is not inside the body. There is a special relationship between the body, and together they form a human being. So it is something from outside, soul, something from outside that affects the human body, and with human being, with its association with the body, the reflection we get is of a human being. Now, a few question answers of true and false nature. Decide whether the following statements are true or false according to the preceding paragraph. The preceding means which came before. The paragraph that we read, we have to answer the question based on that. The soul has its origin in the spiritual worlds of God. True. Soul is generated in the spiritual world of God. That's true. The individual has his beginning when the soul associates itself with the embryo. That's also true. Unless and until soul associates itself with the embryo, the human being cannot be formed. The soul belongs to the material world. Absolutely false. Soul belongs to God, right? Spiritual world. The soul is within the body. No, it never enters the body nor leaves the body. It's an outside source. Soul is an outside source. Answer is false. The soul and body together make up human being. That is true. Soul, when it associates with the embryo, when they get into relationship together, it creates a human being. So that it is the soul and the body together make up a human being is true. The soul is exalted above the physical world. Exalted means to higher position, right? There are two meanings of exalted actually. It is a higher position or higher praise. So either way you think, soul is to be praised higher than the human body, and the soul has a higher position than the body. So it's true. And now we come to the last one. The relationship that exists between the soul and the body is like that of a light and the mirror which reflects it. True. Our body is a mirror, soul is the light. So the better our body, the better reflection we get. This paragraph implies true life begins when the individual is born into this world. Does it imply that? No. True life implies when soul associates itself with the body. Material existence continues in the other worlds of God. No. Only spiritual existence. No material existence. The body is the owner of the soul. Can never be. Soul is never associated with the body. So the body is never the owner of the soul. So this is false. Life consists of things that happen to us every day. Is that life? Things that happen every day? No. Life consists of things beyond that. People live beyond their life. So life consists of things way beyond. Life is about spiritual connection with God. So if we can connect spiritually with the God, Our life continues to be even after our passing away. Now, my first question: where does the soul originate? The soul originates in the spiritual world of the God. Simple answer. When does an individual have his beginning? When the soul associates itself with the embryo. The individual has his beginning over there. What makes up a human being? The relationship between soul and body together form a human being. Now the last question is, what worlds does the soul belong to? Soul belong to God's spiritual world. Now we come to the section 2, and the paragraph that we are going to read is, there is a very special relationship between the soul and the body, which together form a human being. The relationship lasts only the span of mortal life. When this cases, each one returns to its origin. When this ceases, sorry, I beg your pardon, the light is very poor today in my room. There is a power cut over here. There is a very special relationship between the soul and the body, which together form a human being. The relationship lasts only the span of a mortal life. When this ceases, each one returns to its origin. The body of the world of dust and the soul of the spiritual world of God, having emanated from spiritual realms, created in the image and likeness of God, and capable of acquiring divine qualities and heavenly attributes, the soul, after its separation from the body, progresses for all the eternity. You got that probably? It says there is a very special relationship between the soul and the body. When they come together, they make a human being. The relationship lasts the span of mortal life. Till you are alive, there will be a relation between your body and your soul. When it ceases, when it stops, cease means to stop. When it stops, each one returns to its origin. The body goes to its origin from dust to dust, and the soul goes back to God. The body to the world of dust and the soul to the spiritual world of God. Having emanated from spiritual realms, created in image and likeness of God. It goes back to the realms of God. Why? In the areas of God, areas dominated by God, where only God can enter, spirit goes back there. Because your soul is created by the image and likeness of God. That is a very important point. And the soul is capable of acquiring divine qualities and heavenly attributes. The soul, after its separation from the body, progresses for all eternity. So when the soul is separated from the body, it progresses for all eternity. Now the first question, how long does the relationship between the soul and the body last? The relationship between the soul and the body lasts till the person is alive. Where does the body go after the death? The body goes to dust after the death. Where does the soul go after death? Soul goes back to the spiritual world of God after the death. After death, sorry. Why I am using the article? How long does the soul progress? Soul progresses for eternity. Which is more important, the soul or the body? Of course, the soul is important. Body is going to dust. Soul would remain with God for eternity. Where does the soul come from? Soul comes from the spiritual world of God. What part of a man was created in image and likeness of God? The soul of a man was created in an image and likeness of God. How does our life change when we die? When we die, our body goes to dust, but the spirit goes back to God. And it has been emanated from the realms of God, from the areas of God. So what happens is, it continues for centuries, spreading whatever he has learned, staying in human form. When does life end? Well, life ends with the culmination of mortal life. What happens to the relationship between the body and the soul when we die? Body goes to dust while the soul goes back to God. So this will be all for today. Take care. Goodbye.